may not know who I am. My name is Khary Penebaker. I don't care what your politics is today. I don't care that you may not know what Black Lives Matter actually means today. I'm glad you showed up, though. That is half the battle. Showing up is what counts sometimes. But what will you do with it? Every single one of you has a voice, and you've been silent. While black and brown boys and girls, our brothers and sisters are dying needlessly. And what are you doing? Thank you for joining in this park today. But what are you doing? What will you do with your power? What will you do with your white privilege? I don't care if you deny that you got it. You have it. Now use it to do something good with it. You don't have to be afraid of someone that looks different than you. That's what makes America special. Because there's so many of us that are different. It is our collective difference that makes us special. And you need to realize that, and not just realize it, y'all need to celebrate it. I know there's a lot of folks that are angry with the police right now. Me included. When I get harassed and I get death threats, it's the Waukesha County Police Department that I call. And thank you for protecting me and my family. I sincerely appreciate that. And I know that there are far more good cops than bad cops. But this is the time for
That's
those
okay.
good cops to stand up against those bad cops and say, we ain't taking this one. And watch a brother sit there for 8 minutes and 46 seconds with his knee on his neck. You are not a good cop when you watch. You are complicit. Do something. Y'all know better. These police officers know better. I know this job is hard. Y'all risk your lives every single day. And thank you for doing that. But if you watch injustice happen, if you watch crime committed by your fellow officers and do nothing, you are just as guilty as they are. Do something. I also have heard a lot of folks be angry about the rioting and the looting, which is a sliver of what's actually happening across our world today. People are protesting peacefully today for justice. But since you want to harp on some of the violence and the looting and the vandalism, Dr. King said, as I'm sure you all may know, a riot is the language of the unheard. But what you all know in that same speech just a few minutes later, he says, social justice in progress are the guarantors to riot prevention. Y'all want to stop rioting? Do something. Get out there. Do something. Do something. Make sure justice happens. Because none of us are free unless we are all free. Remember that. I'm going to end this with the last moment of silence that I will ever accept, especially from y'all. George Floyd had a knee on his neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. This is the last time. For these 8 minutes and 46 seconds we're going to be silent here, this is the last time I will accept any of y'all being silent. Please join me. Please join me for a moment of silence. But before I do that, I have one quick announcement. minutes, 46 seconds. Sure, all of you, just like me right now, my arm is sore. I'm holding it up for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Can you imagine having a 200-pound plus man with his knee on your neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds? Can you imagine holding your breath for 8 minutes and 46 seconds while a man has his knee on your neck and two other men have their knee in your spine and you are unable to inhale and exhale? Can you imagine? Just think about how uncomfortable you were for this last 8 minutes and 46 seconds, and you still get to stand up. You still get to go home later on. Your parents and loved ones get to see you later on today or later on in the week. But not so much for George Floyd. He ain't got lucky. His 8 minutes and 46 seconds ended with his death. Think about that. Think about how uncomfortable you are. And think about how silent you have been. Think about how uncomfortable it must have been for Dontre to be shot 14 times, 12 of which were in his back. Think about Tamir Rice. Tamir Rice had an airsoft pistol in a park in a state that allows open carry, and he was shot within 3 seconds of the police showing up. Think about how uncomfortable you were for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Think about John Crawford, who had an airsoft rifle in the Walmart that sold it. The police shot and killed him on sight. Think about how uncomfortable you were for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Think about Breonna Taylor, who was in her own home when the police used a no-knock warrant that actually was illegal because the person they were looking for was already in custody. They shot this young woman 8 times. She should have turned 27 yesterday. But think about how uncomfortable you were for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Think about Laquan McDonald. He was shot more than 10 times. That officer unloaded his magazine on him. But think about how uncomfortable you were for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. Think about Sean Bell, who was shot, they shot him more than 40 times. But think about